Yeah, this is just a short one. Norm Macdonald. Also, the new year will probably be. I'll start back doing the Norm Macdonald lives. Um, hopefully, when everything kind of quietens down a bit. But anyway, um, Norm Macdonald and why the UK office is better than the US office. I haven't even seen the US office other than clips, and I know the UK is better. Like I've seen clips of it, and it's like the Ricky Gervais character, even though it's over the top, he makes him believable. Whereas I find with the American one, it's just not believable. But let's see what Norm's opinion on it is. Let's go.
Well, this is not a movie, but you asked me what I like to. Every morning I watch the British Office.
Oh, British Office is great.
I
mean, do you like the American version too, or
maybe if I hadn't seen the British one?
That's the trouble. It's like the full Monty. It's so smart and funny.
Yeah.
And then we have a tendency to junk it up, dumb it down.
Yeah, but see, for me, there's a couple differences. One, I mean, Steve Carell I think is great. He's fun. Yeah. His character is just interesting, and the whole fact that it's like in middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, is funny to me for some reason. And then the other character, I mean, the whole thing between the receptionist and the other guy, Jim, is interesting. And the guy who, for me, makes the show even more than Steve Carell is what's his name, who was in 6 Feet Under, who plays the weird guy.
Oh, yeah.
But have you seen the British Office?
Yeah, I have. I think I think it's the same concept, just a different show.
I think here's the fundamental difference. I think that doesn't make the American one work.
Where do you see that?
It's on BBC America.
Faulty Towers is on there. All these great things. Yeah,
but in the British Office, the idea was that a documentary crew came to this paper company, and the David Brent, the boss, had illusions that he was a entertainer.
He was a star, right?
And so he was giddy when this and he was trying to use it to showcase his talents.
Right.
In the American Office, that's not true. Steve Carell is not funny. You know,
but
I mean, he's funny.
He thinks he's hilarious, and he thinks he's like everybody loves him, and he's this great cut up in the office.
But the difference is that Ricky Gervais actually is funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you're watching the British Office, you're going, well, I would be laughing at Ricky Gervais, you know, even though nobody else is.
Right, you'd just be annoyed by, like, the Steve Carell guy.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, thanks, David.
Do we want to get into it? Is this interesting or is it just boring?
It's very interesting. People love The Office.
Sure.
You know my favorite moment in The Office is?
Yeah.
When David Brent says Gareth, has cars and does karate, and then does them in opposite.
Yeah.
He says, talk about it, and he starts talking about his karate, and he does the car, and then he has to change.
Scared of letting go. I'm scared of
George, you do a joke. Now, in The Office, you do a joke about George Michael's in the first Office.
I don't remember the specifics of that joke. I'd like to apologise to George Michael.
Oh yeah, in the bathroom, and then
he's a wonderful musician.
Yeah, what's his latest release? It was
running down the wall of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. That is in The Office. Not extras, but in extras, he is actually in extras doing what George Michael did, sitting on a bench in somewhere in London. But what Norm said actually, makes a point, because I've thought that, like, the bit in the UK office where they're doing the Muppet Show, and then David Brent's head comes round the corner like that, and he's like, and then he like goes over the top with it, and everyone stops doing it, and is just looking at him, and then he goes, and then silence, just silence, and he goes, what? It's that's just great, is when he's uncomfortable, because Ricky Gervais captures that, and that I've always been obsessed with that. Because people can act, and it happens to everybody. People can be so cool, but then everybody has these moments in life where they're not expecting it, and it knocks them off their kind of cool, and you see in that moment them just panic. And David Brent, when he does when no one's laughing, he's laughing. He gets it. Like all that type of shit that he does, isn't it? But yeah, after the Muppets bit, when no one's laughed at him, he goes, "Oh, what?" And he's like, "Nothing." Then he turns around and then he walks into the thing. But he is right. Like Ricky Gervais he is funny. So like, even though he's being someone that's not funny, it's just funny how he's doing it. But then on the other side, you could argue then that the American one is probably more authentic because you are meant to hate him. You are meant to hate David Brent. So like, yeah. In the UK one, it's not so much you hate him, it's just he's so uncomfortable to watch. But yeah, that was a great something I didn't actually think of. Was it when he's the other one in the office, the UK office, when the new guy from the other place comes and he's funny and charming and people really like him. He's everything David Brent wants to be, and David hates him for it. And then the man goes up there and starts doing, introducing David's speech, and he does a joke about David being gay. And when David Brent gets up there and he goes, what's he say? He goes, "Oh yeah, you know that thing he just said about gays, me being gay? I'm not gay, and I can honestly say I've never come over a little queer." Silence again, just silence. And then he goes, "That's not part of this. He was putting me off." It's them little just uncomfortable where you like, he just captures that when people are just squirming in their own fucking cringiness. And all of us have them moments. All of us have it. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Just a fucking genius. Peter Kay, Ricky Gervais, I mean. But I will say, I don't think it really hit as big over. I don't know if it would cross over quite the same way either. But if you haven't watched it, Phoenix Nights came out about the same time as The Office. And Phoenix Nights smashed it in terms of all of the awards went to Phoenix Nights. And Phoenix Nights is more in your face funny. Like when they it's about a social club, basically a pub, and they're having a family fun day, and they order this bouncy castle off this dodgy fella, and it turns up and it's got a massive cock and balls on the front of it, and Brian's going, "Oh, we can't have that. There's going to be children running around." And one of the mateys, he's got a little woolly hat on. One of the mateys says, "Well, can't we just disguise it as something?" He's like, "Well, what are we going to disguise it as? It's a 40-foot cock and balls." It says, "I don't know. You could disguise it as something." And Brian goes, "Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll put a woolly hat on it and say it's you." Just genius, like, but it's a bit more in your face funny than The Office. So when they both come out, Phoenix Nights just smashed it. But then yeah, The Office really had a kind of cult following, and now, I mean, I know people that still won't watch The Office because of how cringy it is. But yeah, I love it. I love The Office. It's so funny. What about the receptionist? In the UK one, the receptionist. Dawn. He goes, "This is our receptionist, Dawn." And I can honestly say, at some point or another, every man in this office has woken up at the crack of dawn. She's like, "What?" He's like, "Nothing." It's great. But anyway, that's the reaction. Sweet.